At some point in the future, pollution, natural disasters, and sea level rise have devastated Earth to the point where it is essentially uninhabitable. On board the Aniara, a magnificent spacecraft that travels from Earth to Mars in 3 weeks, there works a woman. Her role is to work as a mimrobe inside the Mima, an artificial intelligence created to simulate Earth's lush, green past for viewers through a fully immersive virtual reality experience that engages their memories and emotions. During the first week of the Aniara's journey, the spacecraft abruptly deviates from its intended path in order to dodge space junk. A portion of the debris breaches the ship's hull and strikes the nuclear reactor, causing a meltdown that will soon force the crew to evacuate all of the fuel. As a result, the ship loses propulsion and navigational control, making it impossible for it to retrace its path. Once the ship passes a celestial body, which should happen in no more than 2 years, Captain Chef 1 assures the passengers and crew that they will be able to restart the journey to Mars. Later on, the ship's astronomer, who happens to be the mimrobe's roommate, informs her that this is untrue and that they will never be able to change their route. The mimrobe soon discovers that travelers utilize the Mima as a means of escape from their present circumstances, making her normally inconsequential work more popular and essential than ever. After 3 years, the Mima is one of the most crucial features required to maintain order on board the ship. As so many individuals flood the Mima with their horrifying memories of Earth's devastation, the Mima becomes overwhelmed and ends its own life. Despite having requested a month of relaxation from the captain, the mimrobe is held accountable for the machine's breakdown and is thrown into prison. Pilot Isigil, the mimrobe's lover, is also put in jail after a brawl breaks out between him and Captain Chef 1 over the mimrobe's sentence. After 4 years, the mimrobe and Isigil are released and given new jobs due to mass suicides and the emergence of cults. After becoming members of a fertility cult honoring the Mima, Isigil soon falls pregnant following an orgy. During her pregnancy, she experienced depression and experienced suicidal thoughts after the baby was born. Captain Chef 1 bans the mimrobe from building the beam screen, a projection gadget that mimics Mima in an attempt to lift Isigil's and the other passengers' spirits. Instead, he gives her the directive to concentrate on teaching the kids in the hopes that one or more of them would figure out a means to get them back to Mars. Isigil and the astronomer learn in the 5th year that a probe big enough to carry fuel is making its way toward the Aniara, suggesting that a rescue operation may be underway. The crew soon discovers that they are unable to identify the probe, its origins, or whether it carries fuel after it takes more than a year to reach the ship and is brought on board in the 6th year. The crew is told to continue working on the probe by the captain, but eventually they give up on the probe's ability to save them. In defiance of Captain Chiffon's orders to maintain unity among the crew in order to protect the passengers from losing hope, the astronomer bemoans the fact that their ship is a sarcophagus. Captain Chef 1 kills the astronomer with a taser in an angry outburst. After starting to work on her projection gadget, the mimrobe eventually manages to project a waterfall onto the spaceship's black windows. After she succeeds, she learns that Isigil killed himself and the kid they were raising together. The few members of the crew commemorate the 10th anniversary of their space mission 4 years later. As he leers at Captain Chiffon's honorary medal for her work creating the beam screen, the mimrobe realizes that his wrists are bandaged, maybe from a botched suicide attempt. The passengers' primary source of food and water, the algae tanks, has been poisoned. The mimrobe and a few surviving crew members are sitting cross-legged in a dimly lit room in year 24 of the journey. A woman who remains nameless speaks eloquently about the heavenly influence of sunlight on Earth while the ship gradually sinks into ultimate darkness. At last, after 5,981,407 years of travel, the abandoned, frozen, and human-free Aniara approaches the Lyra constellation and a planet that is as lush and hospitable as the former Earth.